man's got fire and a wild hot take. Andrew's stats make the whole place shake. Laughing loud when your team goes down. Straub boys run this sports town. Show. Sundays, Mondays, we live for the fight. College game day and Thursday night. Rivals fall and the banter flies. We bleed our teams till the day we die. S-T-R-A-U-E. Two loud mouths and a love for the league. From Cleveland roots to the world we go. This is the Straub Bro Sports Show.
Live from King Koopa's Castle in Bikini Bottom. Welcome to the 2025 Halloween edition of the Straub Bro Sports Show. Big Bro Ken, Big Bro Luigi checking in with Doofus Patrick. I cannot believe I allow you to let me do this every year.
And you know what? I appreciate it because I look like a doofus every day. To get you to look like a doofus one day out of the year, I really appreciate it.
I'm sorry. I'm doing things I'm not supposed to. No, yeah, you do. You this is the price I pay. Yes, welcome everybody. As you see, I am in my Luigi costume. My Mario is not here. But as you know what, for the first time ever, Luigi gonna hold this down. Okay, Luigi's got this. If you are extremely confused, as I was when he came on the screen, that is what my brother is supposed to be. I will allow you to judge in the comments how you see fit. There will be all pro bullying today on the Straub Bro Sports Show. First things first, welcome back in everybody from yesterday. Pops was good. Ray, you already know. And we're gaining approval so far, so we're doing okay.
Absolutely.
Here. This is ridiculous. I love you though, bro. All right,
let's go.
I can't believe we're gonna do sports talk like this. Let's start with the World Series again. Drew, for all the talking and all the money and all of the hitting and all of the home runs, it is the Toronto Blue Jays that are one win away from a World Series championship. Big shout out to Mom who's checking into. Mama, I look ridiculous. But that is not what we thought would happen 24 hours ago, in the same way I was healthier 24 hours ago as I am sick and exhausted today. Drew, the Dodgers still have hope just because they have Shohei Ohtani, Freddie Freeman, and the rest of those guys. However, if Toronto was to do this, where would this upset rank for you all time in World Series history? Or I should say, give me recent history. I don't need to talk about Willie Mays, and we don't need to do that.
No, this would definitely be up there. And I think there's two reasons why I think this is happening. One, I think because the pitching staff of Toronto and also the massive at-bats by Toronto are absolutely crucial in this series.
She's lying to us.
Of course we do. No, we're not. No, she's not. We look amazing. I think that's a big part of it. The pitching and the massive hitting, absolutely. However, LA's pitching has really let them down this series, especially last game with Blake Snell really not pitching well at all. And listen, I know he went on and said it doesn't bother him, whatever. It might, because you can't have bad outings at this stage because it's going to cost you games, and games are everything. And so if we're talking the biggest upset, I think it honestly has to be one, because I don't think we've seen a team in recent history This absolutely loaded on one side. Goggle adjustments. This one just massive team and another team coming that's very good and playing very well, but has played so many games throughout this World Series or this playoff run with the Mariners and with Detroit to be able to get through this and play as well as they have consistently. They took the beating in game 2, they took the back-to-back losses in game 3, and they've been able to rally behind that and come through. And I think that really is an amazing story right now just because of who they're facing.
You cannot make goggle adjustments while you're making serious points today, or you are just going to lose me. I agree with you. Listen, man, I had Dodgers in 3. I made the joke. I was rooting for the Dodgers because unlike the rest of you delusional Guardians fans, I don't want to see a team built around some Guardians win a championship. Sorry. We have come in week after week, day after day, and said, man, this Shohei Ohtani is just, he's the GOAT. He's great. He's the greatest baseball player in the world right now. When you have him, a guy like Freddie Freeman, who's clutch as all hell, Mookie Betts, the pitching staff that they have, they're supposed to win this series. Now, I know Toronto has a lot of money pumped into that team, and we talked about it. It's a very talented team as well, top to bottom, but it's not this Dodgers team. There are still levels. So if they're able to pull this off, I mean, truthfully, and yes, we did. We had mentioned this yesterday, and this is true. Toronto is top 5 in payroll too. So this isn't a small market club, but still, it's what the Dodgers have done has just been ridiculous.
Yeah.
I think it will let some of those, although I have a problem calling Toronto a small market. I know for a lot of Americans, you don't think that because it's not Chicago and New York and LA. Toronto is a huge market. It's a major international city. You know that very well. So to call it a small market is tough for me, but in terms of this sport, it is. And I mean, it should tell you that, when you have the collective pieces, when you have a generational talent like Vlad Guerrero Jr. is, you build around him and you go. When you have a generational talent like Jose Ramirez, you build around him and go.
No, I think you're absolutely right. I think Philly, when they got Bryce Harper, they did exactly that. The Nationals tried to do it. They just couldn't get over the hump. The Braves did it when Acuna came up. We did it when Lindor came up and we fell just short. Teams know, especially when you're not New York or Chicago or LA, you have very small windows to win championships. And this is exactly the case where in probably 2-3 years, this team probably is back down to the middle of the AL East behind New York, behind Boston, maybe even, behind Seattle. But what they truly understand is they had an amazing talent that did not want to let go. And even if the payroll is big, they understood this is the time that matters. They can spend as much, they can be the Mets and spend as much as they want, in off. But once they figure out that this is the time and this is the time to move, they did it and they're seeing the rewards of it. And I applaud that. And they just need to win one more.
Just one more. And to Ray's point, this has been the thing that has been the tough pill to swallow, but it's been the ability for me to go, okay, they got a couple of guys from baseball fathers. There's a lot of guys in the major leagues that now make me feel very old, because I am old. I'm the older brother. It's very fitting that I wore this costume today. Actually, I didn't put it together for our show, just that me and Landon were Mario and Luigi. But yeah, this is schooling you today. I still don't like this. I'm also sick, so I probably sound much more down than I actually am today. Yeah, it would be a very fun. It could be a cool story. I'm a salty Guardians fan, so just give me the monster to win. But Game 6 is tomorrow. Them Dodgers not out of it.
No,
Just
I fully expect this to go
as
7.
much as we're here just kind of waxing the Blue Jays and how awesome it could be, this thing ain't over yet.
No, I fully expect it to go 7.
That would be awesome. So, no. Listen, I'm old. You're ancient. There's a difference. There's levels here. We talked about this. Do not come for me today. I want all the smoke.
And I am in my prime.
Yes. Youngin, you a child. So with that being said, let's get to our NCAA preview. We've got a major week. I'm gonna change things up. We're going back to the original way. So we will start with our nothing. There it is. Our Straub's sneaky watchables. We've got a couple on the list. I may have stretched for a couple of these, but you know what? It's my show, and I'm going to do what I want. So we'll start at noon. Miami, number 10 Miami, on the road at SMU. SMU, not the year that was expected after the march to the ACC championship game last year. However, still a punchy team. And I told Miami to call me when they played a good team. Well, I consider SMU, based on the roster, a good team. So I'll give you a watchable. Yeah, I know I reached, but hey, what do you want?
Well, I mean, honestly, in terms of good team, I think that's where I was kind of like, eh. However, I think SMU, similarly to Louisville, has a very high ceiling when it comes to how they can play. And so I would not be surprised if this SMU team came out and absolutely just started torching Miami to begin the game, because that they're able to. But I also wouldn't be surprised if SMU also laid an egg on this game, because that's kind of the highs and lows of this team right now. So we'll see what happens there. But yeah, I mean, listen, that Louisville team, they're always up for that kind of game. I think SMU less so. I think Miami has this one.
You know why it's here? Because the last time Miami had to play at a weird time, they lost. I know noon isn't
a weird time.
It is for a team it is for a Florida team that doesn't always play. I'm just saying. I'm reaching. I'm trying to let me reach for something. Let's move over to 3:30. I mean, another one I'm reaching on, and I'm giving talent the benefit of the doubt on the other side, not record. Number 5, Georgia versus Florida. The world's largest cocktail party. Or is this? Yeah, sure. I mean, Drew, why should I care about this game?
Because every year Florida, for some reason, plays really well against one SEC team, and I'm waiting for that to happen. So, oh wait, no, they did. They who they beat? I'm completely losing my track, but they already did that, I think.
Yeah.
So never mind. Georgia's gonna beat them by 40.
Okay. Yeah, I was right. World largest. You got to double check these things, and I just pulled that off the top of the dome, and it was right. So yeah. I mean, Florida has the talent to do it. I'm just.
They also new head coach boost.
Yeah, absolutely. But listen, trick-or-treating's done on Friday. You're gonna need something to do on Saturday. Let's shift over. Hey, listen, if that one doesn't pique your interest, how about a Big 12 matchup? Because something's bound to happen. Number 18, Texas Tech at Kansas State, 3:30 on Fox. It's the Big 12.
No, I think you're absolutely right. Listen, while I like Texas Tech and I've loved this Texas Tech team all year, it's the Big 12. Kansas State could come in, look absolutely amazing, and take them down. I don't think it's going to happen. I think this Texas Tech team has learned from its mistakes and kind of gotten over the hump, but you never know.
Kansas State is one of the most respectable college football teams that there is. They're never bad. They may not always be great. Sometimes they are really good, but they're never bad. So Texas Tech has to keep the eyes on the prize, as they've already slipped up once. 3:45, weird time and weird place. ESPN2, number 15, Virginia at California. Take over for me, please.
No, I mean, listen, Virginia has played with fire for multiple weeks now, including an overtime win against North Carolina, which has looked terrible. Cal has not looked bad this year. They've looked okay. I would not be surprised if they give Virginia a run for their money and Virginia luck run out.
And listen, it is some of the little things. I will say, I know that we never really pay attention to a lot of this part, but hey, listen, traveling, weird times, 3:45 kick. Cal's got, and they're at home. Virginia's played close games. This defense kind of plays down to the competition. We'll see. And then Listen, just because I said I wouldn't bet on them doesn't mean when they don't deserve to make a graphic when it's due. But 7:30 on NBC, number 23 USC travels to Lincoln to take on Nebraska. Nebraska just inked up Matt Rule to 2032 with an $18 million buyout. Congratulations on that, I guess. But Drew, this should still be a track meet. This should still be a good game.
The issue is what Nebraska team is going to show up? Is it going to be the team that's pretty stout on defense, can make plays? Can Dylan Raiola make plays with his legs and his feet and get guys open? Or is it going to be a Nebraska that just looks so flat offensively, can't get the ball moving, and the defense just allows the team to walk through? And I don't think it's going to be that bad like the Minnesota game, but I think it's going to be enough where USC completely takes advantage of it.
I have more on this one later. Number one.
Did you bet on this game again?
We'll talk about it. Okay. We'll talk about it. Okay. We'll talk about it. But I think it should be a track meet. USC's defense is the right defense to get a Nebraska offense rolling. I don't think it's going to be enough. I mean, I'm pretty confident Miami and SMU will be somewhat close until Miami pulls it away. I actually think Georgia's going to demolish Florida. I think Texas Tech and Kansas is going to be closer than you think. I think Cal can upset Virginia. I think USC is going to win this handily, but I think you're going to look up and it's going to be like 45-30. And you're going to go, oh, wow.
Fair.
So, all right. Enough of your sneaky watchables. Let's get to the big ones, Drew. You just look so ridiculous. I love you, though. I love you. I love how ridiculous you look. So it's out of love that I say you look ridiculous. But let's get to Straub Big Saturday. And for the first time in Straub Sports Show history, the Cincinnati Bearcats have made the big graphic because my man's got a big week ahead. But we'll get to that because you are late. You are our late night.
Let's get serious here.
Oh, yeah, we're about to get serious.
As serious as I can be in this costume.
That's fine. Right. I enjoy that we get to clip you talking about your most important game so far of the year in this ridiculous costume. But we start in the SEC at noon. Number 9 Vanderbilt travels to number 20 Texas. Drew, Arch Manning is not yet cleared from the protocol, so not yet starting or not yet named the starter again for Texas. Texas has struggled lately. Vanderbilt clipped Missouri last week, has been playing well. This has the makings of Texas taking their final loss in terms of the one that will completely knock them out of contention.
Yeah, but Vandy, I see it. I see it now. I love Vandy, and I think they're looking so well. And everything we've seen points to Vandy winning this handily, getting through this, and just taking it to the next week. But man, a 21-17 scoreline is just in my head with Texas scoring with like 30 seconds left, and I don't like it. I'm gonna pick Vandy just because it's the right choice and it makes sense. But man, if a Texas team can get up for a game, it's gonna be this one.
Number 1, you're right there. We saw how they got up for Oklahoma. The thing that scares me about this game for Vandy is exactly why I was scared for them for the Alabama game. They got to go on the road again. I would have loved for this to have been at home for Vandy. Not saying that they have like the greatest home field advantage, but Texas has got a good one. And that Texas crowd is going to be up because knowing sitting down low in those 15 to 20 range, clipping off a top 10 team right now, regardless of who they are, when we've got those committee rankings coming up this week is huge. These are committee games. That's the theme this week. The committee comes out with their first set of rankings Tuesday. So this is your first chance here, this is your first chance here to put a fresh big statement in that committee room because they will be together watching these games. So I agree with you. We should be picking Vandy. They've got the quarterback that's healthy, but that Texas team is loaded. That Texas team is motivated. And the scary part is we've criticized Arch's play man, if the backup just comes in there with nothing to lose and just starts slinging that thing around, you're going to see that Texas offense show the playmakers that it has, and that could be scary for Vandy too.
I think you're absolutely right.
All right. So we'll shift over. We'll get to this almost late night. 7:30 on ABC, our primetime game there. Number 15, Missouri. I don't know why Oklahoma's graphics there. Listen, I did it late last night. I knew something was going to get screwed up. Number 15, Missouri at number 10, Vanderbilt. I don't know what's going on here.
Let's check what the actual game is here.
Yeah, it's supposed to be.
So I know who to talk about.
It's Oklahoma at Tennessee. I don't know why that didn't change. But hey, some things didn't save last night, as you see. So Oklahoma at Tennessee. A committee game, but also an eliminator, because these two teams have suffered multiple losses now. They are hanging on for dear life at this point for an at-large bid, because neither of these two teams are going to the SEC championship game. Whose offense is going to catch fire?
I think that's exactly what you need to do there, because both teams have very much looked very average, especially when it comes to playing kind of these bigger teams. And both teams, I think, need to draw some sort of importance for this. Oklahoma, they do have some games left. They have Alabama left. And so that is another game. But Tennessee, you got Vandy at the end of the season. That's it. You got nobody else to prove yourself. And so both are massive game. Both teams hold this game massively. And both teams have really shown that when it comes to this kind of bigger stage, that they can't get over the hump. Oklahoma with Texas and Ole Miss, Tennessee with Georgia and Alabama, just not able to do this. So I'm unsure kind of what team I would like going into this game. However, if I were to look at it just based on what I've seen so far this season, I really like this Oklahoma team when it comes to games that come down to the wire. Because the Texas game and the Ole Miss game, it was kind of out by the middle of the fourth quarter. They went up. The other team went up 14. It was kind of, but when it's a close game, this Oklahoma team has been able to step up and kind of get it done, where Tennessee has multiple examples of them not doing that. And so if I had to pick one, I would pick Oklahoma. But hey, Tennessee at home, never a bad thing.
Nope, Neyland Stadium would be rocking. Here's the funny part is, and this could ultimately, well, it ultimately will be the X factor. If this was NCAA and I was just playing with the rosters, as good as this Oklahoma roster is, I think this Tennessee team would beat it. But Brett Venables is a good coach. I love what he's done with that defense, and this thing ain't played on the Xbox. So I like Oklahoma with a slight edge, but man, one little slip up in that thing could roll downhill big time for them. If that Tennessee offense gets going. All right, enough of all of this. Let's get to it. The showdown in Utah, 10:15 on ESPN. Number 17 Cincinnati takes on number 24 Utah. I'm going to do what you do to me, and I'm going to go just back on out of here, and I'm going to just give you the floor, sir.
Oh, thank you. Listen, this is probably the biggest game we've had since the Notre Dame game 4 years ago.
Pause, because you know this is going to bother me.
Whatever. This is a huge game, because it means the same thing. Because what this game means, if we win, is okay, you've been able to beat the lower tier teams. You've been able to beat, your UCFs, your Oklahoma States, your Baylors, teams that maybe aren't awful, but aren't up there. Utah is that team. Notre Dame was that team. and you went into – hey, listen, Notre Dame finished, what, 5th in the AP poll that year? And so this is the time where you need to do exactly what you did those 4 years ago. Make plays, control the ball, move the ball down the field, and make big defensive plays when you need to. Against Notre Dame, it was that first drive. We hit the quarterback's arm. We picked it off when they were in the red zone, stopped all momentum. Swung it our way, and we kept it going the rest of the way. That needs to happen in Utah. An interception, a fumble, something to silence the crowd, get them out of it early, and make sure that your offense is on the field enough to continue to put up points. Because I saw this, I'm going to shout out my coworker, Nigel, because he's a big Cincinnati fan. He went to Cincinnati too. He showed me this graphic, and it confirmed what I was talking to him about. We start off great. We are plus 54, I want to say, in the first quarter, and plus like 70-something in the first half. We are minus 24 in the third quarter, and we're only plus 12 in the fourth quarter. We start off great, and then we hang on. You cannot do that against this Utah team because you're not going to score as much as you have against these other defenses. You are going to put up 14 points in the half, 17 points in the half, and then you're going to have to continue to score in the second half. And so all my keys to this, get big defensive stops early to take the crowd out of it and stay consistent through 4 quarters. And then you're going to win this game because your offense is better than Utah, and Utah's offense can put up some points but can't put up more than you can.
So I was going to let you off the hook, but unfortunately, every time you have a big game, you have to reference the only important game that you've ever won in your school's history. And that
Correct.
one is against mine because I am the measuring stick in college football. So
incorrect.
No, very correct. So here's the only problem. Your starting running back is out for this game. I read that report this morning.
One of 2. The second one plays equal amount of snaps.
I understand that, but the guy. Okay, listen, Jeremiah Love Love and Price are great for Notre Dame. I'm just saying, Love and Price are great for Notre Dame, but without Love, we're not the same team. So
it would hold on. I'm just a comparison. It would be if when the Browns had Nick Chubb and Kareem Hunt, if Kareem Hunt was out. That is how this works.
Okay, so you're saying your Nick Chubb's still there. I disagree, but that's fine. The stats just disagree a bit too. But nonetheless, you are a little banged up. You're not 100%. So that does factor into how well your offense can play. When you have the 1-2 hitting hard on that 1-2 punch and you're missing 1 or 2, it's not the same. So that does worry me a bit about you. Traveling on the road on a big game like this, I've seen your home field advantage, so I'm not going to sit here and blow smoke and say it's a top 15 home advantage, but it is a good home environment to play in. Now you got to go to Utah on the road. Your quarterback needs to be a veteran. He needs to, run the offense, and your defense has got to come up big for you. We know that this Utah offense can do it. I mean, they put up 50 last week. So we know they can do it, but it's not a consistency within that offense. You've consistently put up some points. Just do what you do. And then let the defense, I mean, a nice pick six, a punt return, something special. But I think you have the tools to do it. We'll talk about your game a little bit more later.
No. Whenever you bet on my game, I lose.
Listen, I said we'll talk about it. I didn't necessarily say that I was betting on it. All right, now let's go through the rest of your top 25. Drew, we've got no change in the top 6. So the exact same top 6 as last week: Ohio State, Indiana, Texas A&M, Alabama, Georgia, Oregon, Alabama. Sorry, I didn't do it the first time. I had to do it the second time. However, the voting has changed a little bit. 54 first place votes for Ohio State, up to 11 for Indiana, and one person smoking that crack pack has Texas A&M as the number 1 team in the country. Sorry, they're good, not number 1 team in the country. Good, but
It's probably a SEC donor.
100%. Ohio State takes on Penn State, in which should have been a good game. Now is basically a trap game for Ohio State. Don't slip up here against a team that you should beat. Indiana, same thing. They take on Maryland. We'll talk to you guys in a couple weeks.
60-3.
Yep. Texas A&M and Alabama are both off this week. We talked about Georgia and Florida. Oregon is idle as well. So 3 of your top 6 off this week, not playing. Ole Miss, fresh off a big win, fresh off getting Brian Kelly fired, takes on a tough South Carolina team that pushed Alabama to the limit, and has seen other teams get pushed to the limit. This is a sneaky one because you're riding the high from the last win. You got to play a team that does not back down at all, but you do at least have them at home. Any chance of an Ole Miss slip up here?
I don't think so. I think Alabama just didn't have it going offensively, and I think that's why this game was close. Ole Miss doesn't have it offensively, and so I think even if South Carolina puts up points, I think this is one where, like you were talking about last game, where it's 45-28 or something like that, where it's well in hand for Ole Miss, but it's not going to be a blowout.
I like that. Georgia Tech takes on NC State in their lead, as they lead the pack, I should say, to the ACC championship right now.
Can I say something?
Go ahead.
And I about this game, I think real quick, I'm going to say I think Georgia Tech wins this one. They've been playing really well against all these teams, and NC State isn't the NC State of previous years. They're not really great this year. How do you win and remain undefeated and go down in the polls? How is that even possible? As a whole group in the Associated Press, how are you going to look at this Georgia Tech team who has beaten almost convincingly every team in front of them, and go, oh, you know what? This Ole Miss team finally beat the team they needed to beat. Not even. It was Oklahoma, who's not even that good this year. We're going to put them in front of the undefeated team. What are we talking about?
First of all, thank you for the correction, because I think I said they beat LSU last week, and yes, they did. They beat Oklahoma. Listen, man, this is college football now. The zeros are important, but the left side of the dash is way more important depending on who you beat. But we're gonna find out. None of this matters come to next Tuesday when we sit down Tuesday for our review. We'll give our little mock 12, because I'm going to make you do that, and I'll do that as well. But once we hit Thursday's show, none of that's going to matter, because the committee is then going to tell us what matters, and that's all we have to worry about from that point forward. So I understand it. I get it. I don't necessarily agree with you on that one, but Georgia Tech has had a weak schedule. Ole Miss's 7 wins are better than Georgia Tech's 8. So we'll argue about that another day. Here, so you can be, well, we'll get to, we talked about Vanderbilt and Texas. Here, you can stop crying. BYU in at 10, off this week, moved up 1 after remaining undefeated. There, are you happy?
No.
Okay. We talked about Miami, and then holding the 12th spot down strong. My Notre Dame Fighting Irish, they take on Boston College this week. I guess I should be scared that I'm not nervous this week, but just as long as we continue to play that we have been playing, we should be okay. But, you have to play the way you're supposed to. So it's a young team. They scare me. I'll be watching this one nervously.
I'm never going to tell you that you should be nervous against playing Boston College. But listen, maybe, you had a bye, you got healthy, you just play your game, run the ball, play good defense.
Exactly. We talked about Texas Tech, and we talked about Tennessee and Oklahoma, even though it wasn't correct. And we talked about Virginia. No, Morgan. The answer is no.
I'll get it for you. Don't worry about it.
That's all right. I already have one. I'll send him one. He'll find it anyways. Facebook stalker of pictures. All because you got outed. Louisville takes on Virginia Tech. A talented Louisville offense that we're going to talk about here in a minute. You see Louisville stumbling at all?
No, I think this Virginia Tech team, I think, is not good this year at all. And I think Louisville, like I said, while Louisville has that one win that they exceed all expectations, they also have that one or two losses that go, dude, what are you doing? And so maybe they've already got that out of their system, but they could be in due for another one. I just don't think it's this week, but you never know. Also, they're going to Enter Sandman, so you never know.
Oh yeah, we're gonna get some Enter Sandman. I love that. I don't like responding to comments without people knowing what they actually were. No. Once again, no. Maybe actually, you know what? Maybe I'll wear it out Saturday night after the games when we all go out as a media team. Maybe I'll come out as Luigi. So I wanted to point this out. Tennessee at 14, up 3 spots. Virginia up 1. Louisville up 3 spots. But it's your show this week, man. The biggest riser in the top 25 are your Cincinnati Bearcats, who we did mention are at number 17 this week. Congratulations, sir. But you better keep it going because you could go from 17 to out very quickly, depending on how Saturday goes. Oklahoma, we talked about. Missouri off this week, down 4 spots after their loss. Texas up 2. Michigan in the 21 spot versus Purdue this week, and then 22 through 25, all brand new to the top 25. Not all of them actually new, though. Houston in at 7-1. Drew, you talked about them on Tuesday, how talented they were. The committee rewards them with the 22 spot. They take on a very up and down West Virginia team. Spread, things to talk about later. USC, as we mentioned, in at 23, they take on Nebraska. We talked about that. Utah, obviously, we talked about with you in Cincinnati. And then after taking a week off of the top 25, right back in after taking South Florida out, the Memphis Tigers in at number 25, 7-1. Absolutely, unfortunately, have to root against those kind of teams because I'm fighting for a playoff spot with them.
I mean, yeah, that's very true. I think Memphis looks really good. That's excuse me. Sorry. That stat that I brought up where UC was very good in the first half in terms of point differential, and then second half not so good. Memphis is so weird. They have a negative point differential in the first quarter. They have a minimal plus in the second and third quarter. I think it's plus 12 and plus 13 respectively. In the fourth quarter, they are plus 80. I apparently have to come back every game and win in the fourth quarter. And so I feel bad for these Memphis fans because they every week now have to wait until the fourth quarter for the team to actually start doing something.
Whenever you start a conversation with, it's very weird. I know it's going to go in a good direction. Drew, I have to retire something today. And I'm kind of sad about it, but it's okay. As we mentioned on Tuesday, this Saturday is the PAFL All-Star Game as we're getting everything solidified. Both the 2A and 3A game. 2A game is at 4 o'clock. 3A game is at 7 o'clock. Both broadcasted exclusively on the Straub Sports Show YouTube page by yours truly. I'll be solo dolo in the booth. I do believe head coach Jamal Singleton is going to join me for the first game. Who knows who's going to join me for the second game? I really actually don't know. I might just pull somebody random to come do some broadcast.
I'll call it.
Listen, if I could get you in, I would. But I've got 13 All-Stars in for the Rapid. Let's take a look at who they are.
What's up, Rapids fans? It's Ken Straub, your voice of the Rapids, and our first season is in the books, so now it's time to announce your 2025 PAFL All-Stars from your Cuyahoga Falls Rapids. And we start with the first team. Running back, Monte Taylor. Wide receiver, Sean Smith Jr. Defensive end, Josh Davis. Defensive back, Mari Mitchell. Defensive tackle, offensive line, Dustin Dodd. DB, Anthony Spooney. Offensive lineman, Corvez Bolware. Kicker, Bobby Rhodes Jr. And for your second team, linebacker, Mark Hale. Wide receiver, Darwin Filey. Defensive back, Sham Wright. Offensive guard, defensive tackle, Nathan Pritchard. Linebacker, Boom Lumbus. Defensive lineman, DeAndre Stevens. Honorable mention, unable to play in the game due to injury, linebacker, Mike Marshall. Congratulations to all of our Rapids All-Stars, and stay tuned because the wave is spreading.
Shout out to our all-star linebacker, Mark Hale, checking in. Yes, costumes. We appreciate the love, Mark. I do want to mention this because I didn't want to talk too much about the all-star game because I didn't want to start repeating myself. But my Rapids guys are all split up between both teams. I'm not 100% sure which is where. I do know I get a Darwin Filey versus Sham Wright matchup, which I'm very excited for. But my guys are in on both sides. Make sure you tune in, check in. We're going to give lots of love to my guys. I'm going to try to pull as many of them in for a post-game interview too. May just pull them all in and let them go crazy. It's going to be fun. It's going to be some, these guys get to get back to some live action. There's a lot of 7-on-7s, a lot of practices, a lot of drills. So some live action football. Most of our guys are on the black team. And I want to give this guy a special shout out because I was at the 7-on-7 where Mark was, trying out as tight end. Ooh, X Factor. All right, now let's get to the bets. And yes, I do appreciate that too. Shout out to little bro. He went through and found the background today for the Halloween special. Drew, let's try to make some money, okay? We had a tough week, but we're gonna get back at it this week. There are your top 25 spreads, and then of course, as always, there are your Ken's. I'm gonna call them Luigi specials today. Little bit of everything over there. Syracuse minus 2.5 favorites over North Carolina. Hey, Drew, remember that North Texas quarterback you told us about on Tuesday? Well, I'm gonna ride. Yeah. I'm gonna ride with it a little bit more later. But North Texas minus 6.5 favorites over Navy. UConn minus 11.5 over UAB. Air Force they are now currently plus 1.5. That keeps flipping back and forth over Army. The money, the money coming in around there. Bowling Green now 2.5 favorites over Buffalo. It was 1.5 last night. So the money coming in there. Clemson minus 2.5 over Duke. Iowa State minus 7.5 over Arizona State. Liberty. They are minus 3.5 favorites over Delaware. I don't know if we're going to get sued for that. Minnesota minus 3.5 favorites as well. And then Arkansas minus 4.5 over Mississippi State. Arizona it's actually down now to 3.5 versus Colorado. So a lot of changes just overnight. You see where the money coming in a lot this weekend on the college football end. Washington State minus 3.5. And then, Drew, this one hurts my soul because the line has moved again. It was 2.5. It's now 1.5. That's San Jose State versus Hawaii at 10:30. So you will not do. Well, first of all, I'm gonna just put $1 on both teams. But you will not be single boxed. Unfortunately, Hawaii and San Jose State is going to push you into a double box because they start at 10:30. We've got some late nights. All right. Now, this is his favorite part. And I had a tough week. When you have a tough week, you get back to the basics and you get back to work. So I consulted with my betting Mario. Or I'll say my betting Luigi, whichever, my guy here. So cousin Nate helped me put a couple of these in here today. But here are your Straub Bro Sports Show Big Bros locks of the week. Drew, I believe in North Texas. Give me North Texas minus 6.5 over Navy.
Hurts.
I know.
Because this Navy team is undefeated right now.
I know, but I think that's going to end this week. Houston. Minus 13.5 over West Virginia. Another one that hurts, but unfortunately, West Virginia is not good. Louisville, I believe in this offense. Minus 10.5 over Virginia Tech. So those are your spreads. Now let's hit the overs. And it starts with the degenerate one. Wyoming versus San Diego State. Give me the over of 41.5. Listen, these are college football teams, and that's just way too low. Okay?
Yeah, this
this
ain't Iowa.
This second one is one that I really like too. Auburn versus Kentucky over 44.5. This Kentucky team can flat out put up points, and when it's rolling, so can this Auburn team. I absolutely love this over. And then last but not least, I'm sorry, Brody.
No, I get it.
I didn't bet on you, but I can't stay away from this over. Cincinnati versus Utah over 54.5. Ken, that's a lie. I don't care. Okay.
You shouldn't.
CX. I don't care. Okay. I love this one. If Cincinnati is going to win this game, they have to score a lot of points. And if Utah gets rolling, they may put the 50 up themselves like last week. However, Cincinnati ain't Colorado, so they're going to put up their fair share as well. So those are my locks of the week.
Yeah, I mean, listen, like I said, the Navy one, it hurts, but I see the vision there. I like Houston. I like Louisville. That's the Wyoming San Diego State is so degenerate. I have no idea. The Auburn Kentucky, I agree with, and yeah, the Cincinnati and Utah. Cincinnati games have gone 60 plus points the past 4 weeks, and so yeah, fully understandable for that over there.
Just like at the end of the show, I need 5 in a row from Manchester United. I need 5 in a row from your Cincinnati Bearcats. Now, I've got your upsets primed and ready to go as well. I really like this week. Actually, a lot of these. I went through a couple of these and revamped a couple today because when I went back through some of the spreads, or I shouldn't say spreads, when I went back through some of the matchups, there was just some that really, really stuck out to me. That's Michigan State. I really, really like them. They take on, sorry, I have to pull them back up. They're taking on Minnesota this week. Minnesota's 3.5-point favorites, but I like Michigan State. I like this team. Arizona State. Why not? The Big 12 is weird. They just lost their ranking, so they're due to win again and jump back in. They take on Iowa State. They're heavily underdog there. I like that. You're in here because I love you, and you're a very heavy underdog. For as pro Cincinnati as we are on this show, and as pro as I allow you to pump your team up, you are a plus 310 underdog on the road at night under the lights in Utah. I won't tell you if I do anything with that, but I mean that's just juicy.
Don't
but for your sake, I may not. Kentucky plus 360 over Auburn. I kind of really like that one too, just because this Kentucky team can score, period, flat out. South Carolina plus 380 versus Ole Miss. I mentioned it. I had to tease it up. It's what I do. And then last, but certainly not least, because they've done it before and in your face. Yeah, I did have to bring that up. Stanford, they are plus 460 favorites over Pittsburgh. Had to find that one. Yes, Ooh. They are plus 460. Yes, over the University of Pitt, a Pitt team that you gave a good shout out to on Tuesday because they are playing really well. However, the Stanford team is kind of punchy, or it can be when it wants to be. So some good odds there. May the bets be in your favor. All right, Drew. Let's get professional.
Absolutely.
In these ridiculous costumes, as you've ditched the glasses because you couldn't take it anymore.
No, I just needed to see.
No, I get it. So Drew, we kick off. Yes, there's a game tonight. I don't care about it other than to make sure my fantasy rosters are set. But the Ravens take on the Miami Dolphins. Do you know how much I don't care about this game? I don't even know if Lamar Jackson's playing.
I think he is.
Sure. Cool. I mean, if he's playing, I don't care what's going on in Miami. The Ravens should win this game. If he doesn't, flip a coin.
Yeah, no, I think you're right. I think Miami looked good last week, but I think that was a fluke. I think Baltimore is much more stable in their team. So yeah, give me Baltimore in this one.
Wonderful sports news that we don't even know whether or not Lamar Jackson is actually starting tonight.
He is starting.
Him and Derrick Henry are in tonight. So yes, go heavy on the Ravens. Nate will cook up a little something here in a couple minutes. But yeah, get your Thursday night started with some terrible football. Actually, there's some better college games on. I don't know the entire Thursday night slate, but shift over to the college side tonight. Then we get to Sunday at 1:00. Bears at Bengals. I do not care. This is the problem. Already done. Send it to me, Brody. This is the problem with the NFL, and this is my problem with the NFL, and this is why our show is centered around college football, because these games, for the most part, suck. Bears at Bengals, I don't care. Vikings are going to get steamrolled by the Lions. Stop me when you want me to. The Panthers are going to get demolished by the Packers. I don't care what happens in the Chargers and Tennessee game, but the Chargers should win. The Falcons are going to lay an egg, and the Patriots are going to continue this run to the division title that you tried to argue with me wasn't going to happen. Now that they don't have Cam Scatterbo, the 49ers are probably going to beat the Giants, although Jackson Dart is going to make it extremely fun. There we go. We can stop at this one. Colts at Steelers. We've had no choice but to give the Colts all kinds of love. Here finally is an offense that we can look up and say, well, according to you, can test this defense and see what the Colts are made of. For the Steelers, this would be a very big win to knock off this Colts team and re-show, hey, whoa. I know we just lost, but this division is still ours.
I think you're absolutely right. Being back at home is going to be good for them. We will see, because like we've talked about, the Steelers defense very, very prone to giving up points. The offense doesn't look too bad, but yeah, the defense gives up a lot of points, and the Colts can put up some points. I want to shout out here real quick. The co-owner and CEO of the Colts, Carly Irsay Gordon, she's daughter of Jim Irsay, puts on the headset, listens to everything. And when because on the sideline, when they ask her about it, she says, I want to hear if anyone sounds like they don't know what they're talking about, so I know where to make changes. And I think that's one of the best ways that I have heard an owner or a CEO actually try to get into their team. Because if you listen to some of these owners, they're in their press box, they're with all of these other businessmen, they're not paying attention. And then you hear them being the person that trumps the GM or the coach in decisions regarding football. And when you see this,
Jerry Jones,
she's not, or Jim Haslam, you know what I mean? It's the same thing. When you see someone like this put on headphones and say, coming from a football background in Jim Irsay, Robert Irsay, all of these fantastic football minds, and go, no, I just want to hear if you're bullshitting me or not, if you know what you're talking about. And it's absolutely phenomenal. I want to shout out to her, because she's the reason that a part of the reason that they're this successful.
Okay. So we talk sports every day, but we don't share our big ideas because we do them all here. So I have more to add on this because I've read in on this story a little bit. Even
this is the first I've heard of this. That's why I wanted to shout it out.
So Jim Irsay has 3 daughters. So she is the football. Next couple minutes, we're almost there. She is the football oriented one. The other 2 are more in the front office roles, just in different capacities. So this is something that Jim Irsay used to do himself as well. Now, the thing that I love about this is basically she's got a headset that only listens. She does not, there is no communication from her. She is not asking questions. She is not giving plays. She's not giving advice. She's not asking why we threw it on 3rd and 4 instead of running the ball. She doesn't do any of that. She's only there to just observe and take in data. This will be the new thing coming soon to the NFL. This is going to be the catchy thing that comes out of this. Is teams are going to do this. Owners are going to start doing this with their kids or whoever's ready to take over, because this is how it becomes successful. You know, I don't want to talk about my regular job here on this podcast, but we all work at places where, man, if only the people at the top actually knew what was going on and who didn't know what they were talking about, half my coworkers, this wouldn't be so they don't watch the show. So I could care less. I tell them I do a podcast and don't tell them how to find it, because I don't want their viewership. And I know that sounds terrible, but I don't care. Whatever. But
anyways,
have somebody at the top just knowing who knows what's going on. Oh yeah, except for that guy. Sorry. Love you. But he agrees with me. And to have somebody at the top who's, like you said, just making sure everybody in their role knows exactly what they're doing and who is going above and beyond that role too. That's a big part of this too. I mean, it's absolutely I know it did. I know.
Like, let's calm it down there.
I know. Listen, I don't feel good. I told you I wanted all the smoke. I'm punchy. But it's amazing. I love it. I think it's great. And yeah, Jerry, can you get Steven to start doing that? It's all I
Did
read
he
when I
do
read
it?
the Who, Jerry? No, hell no. You
The
give
issue
Jerry
is,
you think it would be a good idea to give Jerry Jones a headset where he can listen to our coaches? They would all be fired 5 minutes into the first quarter and he would just be calling all the plays.
the
No.
issue is he would find a headset that goes both ways and start
Mhm.
talking to the team.
Yes.
That is
Yeah.
the problem.
I just want to throw it to CD air replay. Yeah, we're not doing that. All right, back into the graphic. Broncos at Texans. I care about this one only because both teams played really well last week. The
Yeah.
Broncos put the beat down on my Cowboys. The Texans put the beat
So
down. So we should
maybe
probably see a 17-14 game where
Yeah.
both offenses stall out, but hopefully this will be a good one. Two young quarterbacks trying to kind of reestablish their footing this year. Then we get to the 4:00 Sunday slate. Wow. Jacksonville at Raiders. Sure.
that's a game.
Actually, this one's personal for me. Can both of you teams figure out what you're doing with my fantasy players? Are you gonna trade Brian Thomas Jr.? I'm gonna have to look it up because I cannot
Darren
go.
Waller.
No, it's Darren Waller. I'm gonna punch you. We're Team Kelsey Plum over here.
Brock
first of all.
Bowers.
No, it's not Brock Bowers. Yes, it is Brock Bowers. And I said it last week and then I'd second guess myself. Can you figure out what you're doing with my guys so I can figure out if they're going to ever play again? Saints at Rams. I mean, that should be a cleanup. Now we're cooking. Sunday, 4:00. The rematch from multiple playoff matchups now. Chiefs at Bills. It should be a nice cold later Sunday game, not obviously Sunday night, but still the marquee matchup of the Sunday slate. Drew, who you got in this heavyweight matchup?
I hate it. I hate you giving me just who you got. I think I gotta go Buffalo here just because I think KC wants to win games, but I don't think is that desperate to pull all the plays out the playbook yet, where I think Buffalo would. I think Buffalo's offense is starting to get rolling. I like Buffalo in this game. Plus, also being at Buffalo, I think is a very big advantage.
Had Buffalo not actually got into some fluidity last week, when that's what happens when you're not the Cowboys and you play the Panthers, I would be a little bit more nervous because of how well Kansas City has been playing. I think this is gonna look. I know both of these teams have been shaky. Both of the Bills have played close, and up until recently, the Chiefs were just kind of like, eh. I think this is gonna look like one of the playoff games. I think this is gonna look like
I hope so.
I think this is going to look like week 1, Ravens and Bills. I think this is going to be a great game. I'm going to be hitting a lot of legs on this parlay together because that's how I treat the NFL, because I just don't care about my own team. But I think this is going to be a great matchup. However, I think Kansas City is going to reestablish a bit of, you forget about us? So I like Kansas City here. I'm not as high on this Bills team as everyone else is this year. So I like Kansas City there. Thank goodness we've got that one later Sunday, because the Sunday night game is a sleeper. The Seattle Seahawks travel to Washington to take on Marcus Mariota and the Washington Commanders. Congratulations.
Yeah, I think if it was Jason Daniels.
Yeah, Jaden Daniels, I'm in, but he's not there.
So,
and then, why? Just why? Why are either of these two teams in this slot? This game should have been flexed to 4:00, and that Bills Chiefs game should have been flexed to Monday night. Cardinals
40-35.
Yeah, Cardinals at Cowboys. Defenses will be left in the parking lot. Take all your overs. Start both quarterbacks and wide receivers in your fantasy leagues. This game is going to be it should be fun. I'm gonna say
Yeah.
that. It's gonna
Yeah.
be fun. Cowboys are gonna score some points, but I guess we'll probably win. I guess we might win just because I don't think Kyler Murray's that good. He's going to light our defense up, but I think Dak is much better. So give me Dak, I guess. I know that sounds homerish, but
Fair enough.
here, look, listen. We them boys still, kind of, every once in a while. This shirt was clean. And then on a bye week this week, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and the Philadelphia Eagles taking much needed rests. Struggling to get through the bye week with wins will be the New York Jets and the Cleveland Browns. You're not alone in that struggle this week.
The pain is lifted for a week. I don't have to watch this dumpster fire of a program for at least a week. I'm not even going to call it a team. It's a program. I am, thank you.
Love you, mama.
Love you. I am so thankful I don't have to watch that team this week.
Oof, I don't blame you there. All right, Drew, let's take a quick pause because I need a water break and I want to tell all of the rest of you about the place, the best bakery, period.
Ken Straub here for Schmoopy Sweets and Treats, the official bakery of the Straub Bros Sports Show. And I'm also here with and
Landon Straub.
And boys, do we have a lot to tell everyone about today. Schmoopy's is your go-to for all your bakery needs. Gluten and dairy-free options for muffins, cheesecakes, rolls, breads, cupcakes, cake pops, pies, cakes, you name it, it's there. And boys, what do we think?
Oh, I love it.
I love it.
Me too, boys. So, if you need anything, especially in this fall time, make sure you get in your orders for pies and pumpkin rolls and cinnamon rolls. Place your order now at
Smoopy's.
Sweets and treats.
Best commercial in the game, period. End of story. Oh yeah, mom stuck around for that one. She knew. So Drew, we've hit our NFL. Oh, okay. We've hit our NFL. We've hit our college football
Properly.
That's okay. Let's hit the footy. Match week 7 is upon us. And you've got a big one.
Don't even worry about it.
And you've got a big one to kick us off. Chelsea travel to take on Tottenham Hotspur. Drew, you've been a bit of a down skid here. And then as I sent you the video with your smart-ass response, that was completely false. Team red card picked up another red card this week. Here's the real question. I don't care whether or not you win this game. Are you going to finish with 11 guys on the field for once?
Absolutely not. No, especially here. Listen, Tottenham, they look okay. I fully expect us to win this one. This should be a no doubter, honestly. But no, we will finish with at maximum 10 players.
Because you took your goggles off, I'm taking control and I'm putting myself last. Aston Villa, fresh off their upset of Manchester City, get them another top 6 club as they take on Liverpool. Liverpool are in such bad form that San Marino, yes, the country of San Marino, that is one of total of like 4 games in their nation's history, has asked to play Liverpool. Dark skies above Liverpool as they can't score goals and they can't win games. Does that end this week, or does Aston Villa ride high?
Oh, it's tough because Aston Villa, with the win against Manchester City last week, has started kind of an upturn here. I wouldn't be surprised if Aston Villa gives them a run for their money, but I don't think I can see this Liverpool team continuing to lose.
That's tough. It's the same. As much as I want them to, it's just very hard for me to believe that they'll continue to lose. It doesn't mean this thing might not end up 2-2 or 1-1. Bournemouth, who currently sit very high in the table. Thank you, Mama. Take on Manchester City. Drew, a win by Bournemouth would be an absolute statement. Probably the biggest one, and I'm not being a homer here because you gave it credit to. This would go right up with Manchester United's win at Liverpool. This would be, and it would probably be, for me, it would be bigger. A statement win here possible by Bournemouth to kind of let the rest of the top six know, hey, I know it's still early, but we're here.
No, I think you're right. And I think it would give validity to a potential Europe qualification. I think they look absolutely fantastic. I think the midfield is just dominating everyone. And they look really, really good with Semenyo and Tyler Adams and the whole group there. The defense, even though they had to replace their entire back line this season, looks seamless. And the attack is scoring goals when they need to. Do I think that they're going to absolutely dominate Manchester City? No. Do I think that they're going to give City a good game? Absolutely, I believe so. I think the only question is, how does this Manchester City team come out after last week's kind of downturn offensively, and what are they going to tweak? Because Pep is always going to tweak them after kind of that kind of performance and get them going. So we'll see what happens here. I think it's definitely going to be a game to watch, a very good game, but I think City is going to be able to push the right buttons here.
Anybody who's still with us that is a bit unfamiliar with our footy, playing at home is massive, especially in all leagues, but especially in the Premier League. Manchester City on the road this week against Bournemouth, and I would be putting ducats on some money lines and some stuff there. Having to now travel to Manchester, that's going to be a tougher game. How Bournemouth do you handle the atmosphere? How do you handle maybe being down 1-0 early or 1-1 late? How can you handle that? Now, if you come out flying, there's a possibility that you punch this Manchester City team in the mouth, and with the way they've been playing, they may not respond fully, but still a chance there. I just want to, and listen, I got to do it real quick. Listen, Cuzzo comes through. Okay, I asked for the parlay. My man sent me the parlay. That's what I'm talking about, my guy. That's clutch right there. And then last, but certainly not least, Manchester City at Nottingham Forest. Manchester City Manchester United at Nottingham Forest. Manchester United we look for 5 in a row.
Don't slip.
Yeah. This Nottingham Forest team is absolutely going to get the new coach boost from Sam Dyche coming in and taking over at Nottingham Forest. My Manchester United, listen, I expect to see Harry Maguire in there because I expect to see lots of long balls. This team needs to just continue what it has been doing, and that's just, putting 10, 11, 12 passes together, moving the ball consistently around, pushing it up the field, applying the pressure, and finding good opportunities and taking advantage of them. I know that sounds simple, but at the same time, we've started to do it finally. So, I'm nervous.
These are the games you should win and you need to win to continue to keep pushing forward. So we will see.
Absolutely, we will see. Yep. Oh, too much clicking.
Who? Someone said they weren't going to touch my graphics anymore, and then I touched my graphics.
And then I touched your graphics. So you know what the footy signals? That signals the end of our time here on the Straub Sports Show. Drew, put the goggles back on. I give you a second there to reset yourself to look more ridiculous than you already have looked today. I struggled through, but I gave a Warriors effort. Drew, shout out to you. This is all your idea. I would not do this. I would not dress up in my own show if it wasn't for your nagging and complaining. But I had a great time tonight. Thank you, everybody, for rocking with us tonight. My guy, Ray, Cuzzo, my Oos, Mom, Pops, everybody, my Rapids guys who checked in, my Rapids guys who left some love on the outside as well. Drew, final shouts of the weekend, and don't make it about your Bearcats.
Absolutely not. Thank you, everyone. Liking, watching, commenting, however you support our podcast. Have a great weekend. Have a really safe Halloween. Have a good time. And Ken, I'm sorry. I love you. Go Bearcats. Cats by 90. Let's go.
UC, ooh, or whatever y'all listen. I don't know. I'm sorry. I messed it up here. Yeah. Oh, there. Look at you. There. Look at him. Look at him. Yeah. I already had trick or treating with my guy. For all my parents out there, please be safe. Keep an eye on your kiddos. It still gets a little crazy. And you parents who drive around in your cars while your kids trick or treats are the bane of my existence, and you're awful human beings.
Terrible.
But I'm not gonna say anything about your parenting, but you're awful human beings. But please be careful, be safe, and always check your kids' candy. That'll do it for us here. I am done in this costume. I am out of this Halloween stuff. Love it and appreciate it. Hopefully I will feel better by this weekend. Please Saturday, give us some love. Check me out on the Straub Sports Show YouTube page, where I will be doing the PAFL 2A and 3A All-Star games. 13 Rapids in on the first game, and my guy Bobby Rhodes Jr. I forgot to mention this before, kicking in both games. So shout out to Bobby. Bobby will be the only guy there with me from the Rapids. By the time we're wrapping up, everybody will be at the after party, which I will be joining as well. So for little bro Drew, as Patrick, I am big bro, as I should be, as a Luigi. That'll do it for us on the Straub Sports Show. We'll see you Tuesday for a special review of the big weekend that was. And as always, love yours.
Hey, Ken's got fire and a wild hot take. Hey, Andrew's stats make the whole place shake. Hey, laughing loud when your team goes down. Hey, Straub boys run this sports town. Show! This is the Straub Sports Show. Sundays, Mondays, we live for the fight. Hey, college game day and Thursday night. Hey, rivals fall and the banter flies. We bleed our teams till the day we die.